Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long, long time since you've last heard my voice. But today, we put an end to this era of silence. And not only will we be ending this era, we'll be starting a new one, too. This is the age of Turbo Cooper. Year of the Cooper. Okay? We will be uploading a couple times this year, hopefully. And today, I have a great video for you all. There's a common saying that humans are created in God's image. But that just isn't true. As you can see, Bob here is definitely human, and he's not even created in a bullet's image. As you've just seen here, Bob is willing to dedicate not only his life to research, but his soul too. That's right. In the interest of avoiding a lawsuit from the families, we have just decided to resurrect Bob every time an unfortunate accident may occur. Now this causes a little bit of brain damage, but I think it's a price that both me and Bob are willing to pay. As you can see, both of his arms are broken, and so is his legs. So I'll apply my magic healing syringe and bring him back. Just like that, Bob is a new man. Now, we will be using the defibrillator and some bandages to bring Bob back, but later, you'll see that we use some other means. Now, it's clear that Bob did not survive that test, right? So, I will be injecting him with my Super Soldier Serum. Alright, Captain America took this, the other guys from the MCU took this, and Bob, he's just waiting to take it. Make sure to get the last drops, Bob. I think he's having some sort of panic attack, so I can maybe give him a little bit of help with some adrenaline here. Nope, he's dying. Bob is dying. Now, there are some times when traditional healing won't quite work on Bob. And when that happens, we go over to this fancy altar here, and we take his soul out. As you can see, I've obtained a human corpse, perfectly healthy, with no soul, fresh for Bob to inhabit. And just like that, he's back. No longer in this body, moved to this one. Let's go ahead and clean up the evidence here, because this isn't exactly federally approved.
FBI, open up!
First, we'll test off a great sword. See how he handles this. He seems to be in a lot of pain, but he doesn't seem to be dying. In fact, he is slowly regenerating his wounds, thanks to my Super Soldier treatment. I'll go ahead and patch Bob up here. Give him a little bit of band-aids. You know how it is. Thankfully, Bob passed the first test. And I say thankfully because those reanimation rituals, they're not exactly cheap. I've got to find a whole human body, some evil candles, and an altar. I mean, come on. But, as Bob is now in full health, you can see with all these green bars, we're going to shoot him in the face. And as you can see, Bob remains alive. Now, I keep mentioning all this brain damage he's building up, but I think that's going to be even more of an issue now, with his back head shut off. So I'm going to go ahead and heal him the best that I can. Now, with the gun test mostly survived, I think it's time we try the acid test. Because if you're not getting shot with a pistol, you're getting shot with acid, right? As you can see here, I have a gun filled to the brim with acid. And we're just going to see what happens to Bob. He appears to be in a lot of pain. I don't think that's supposed to happen, I'm going to be honest. Just check. No, I don't think Bob's alive anymore. With the unfortunate decapitation of Bob, I've had to resort to a few machines here, as those evil science and magic equipment that I had, they're not in stock at the moment. As you can see, Bob is completely healthy, with nothing wrong to him whatsoever. He's even moving his arm, maybe doing some curls. I'm not entirely sure what he wants to do. I know that you're not supposed to be doing that symbol. Okay, thank you, Bob. But, I think we continue with the tests. Now, with the unfortunate and completely unpreventable decapitation of Bob via acid, we're going to have to bring him back to life again. And in case you notice, this body looks slightly more, fleshy than the previous version, that's because our team wanted to make it look more presentable, and not because I spawned in a new person. So obviously, we'll take out Bob's soul, put it in this new thing. And in case you notice these little markings down here at the bottom of the evil pillars that I have, well, let's just say you don't want to see what happens when you resurrect Bob 4 times. Anyways, on to the next test. As you can see, for this next test we have some dangerous items. So I've got grade A demon blood. I got this from a vampire out of Belgium. He said it's really good. He said it's legit. I trust him. We're going to inject Bob with some demon blood. That was very loud. And now that Bob has been turned into a demon, theoretically he should be able to survive anything. Look at that. Good as new. Fortunately for Bob, how's he going to regenerate his head? Ooh. Real tragedy. With the death of Bob, I could just take his soul out again using our handy-dandy evil contraption. But, as hopes to save the 4-star pillar for a dramatic ending, we're going to bring him back the old-fashioned way. So, without the consent of him or any of his loved ones, I'm taking his brain out. Look at that. As you can see, it's a dried, old, wrinkly brain. And I've had my top engineers construct him a robo-brain. Time to bring him back. It appears that his brain may still be failing, so we can inject him with some blood. After the failure of that cybernetic brain, I've gathered my top scientist right here to have a little meeting with him. And in case you're wondering why he's not directly centered in the camera, that's because if I zoom out, this meeting involves a tank. I'll put this in slow motion for you all, just to see what happens when my scientists don't produce a good product. Let it be known that Turbo Cooper does not accept bad cybernetic brains. After having brought Bob back, there's only one conclusion I can come to. We are going to need to change his DNA itself and make his skin metal. Now, where do I get metal, you ask? This android. Grade A titanium after its legs get crushed from falling too far. And how will I do that, you might ask? Let me show you. What I have in this tab are genetic monstrosities that should never be unleashed upon humans. Just as an example, this is called a CAR mutation syringe. And this is not Bob. He's to the left. But we're going to inject Jim over here with the CAR mutation syringe. And as you can see, he can now drive like a car. To be honest, I don't know why my scientists made this. I think they were trying to poison me after I killed the head researcher with a tank, in case you guys forgot that part. But we'll just... Goodbye, Jim. Have a nice life. Now, what I'm really looking for... I think I just heard Jim explode. As I was saying, what I'm really looking for is the parasitic starfish mutation. Stab Jim here. Activate his body. And the next thing he touches, take over and become. As you can see, Jim has been reborn, and the only part that remains is one human foot. Unfortunately, there is one more thing that we need to show. As you can see here, this is the Seal of 3 Bells. Alright. I picked this up when I time traveled back to the Dark Ages and went to Hogwarts. Now, what this seal is supposed to do, Seal of 2 Bells, is supposed to capture someone's soul and make them completely invisible. Take out Bob's soul, and I'll put it in the seal. In fact, I may have to chain him to the seal, as Bob has become so powerful that not even this mystical relic can hold him. Now, firmly stuck there, Bob should be completely unkillable. As you can see, he is still alive, though just not conscious without his soul. If I take an M16... he's able to regenerate everything. Even a decapitated skull. You can hear the bell chimes as Jim attempts to escape. But the Seal of 2 Bells might be one now. The Seal of no bells has failed to contain him. Ladies and gentlemen, with the unfortunate decapitation of Bob, the seal lost its final bell and failed to contain his soul. Now an empty husk floating around throughout the cosmos. And I unfortunately have to admit to you that we completely smashed that goal, because that was not Bob. I don't think Bob would die to that. Look at this. You see this brick? It's Bob. It's always been Bob. This brick has been here the whole video, and it's not something that I've put in last minute and expect you to rewatch the video to find out if this brick was actually here. Because I discovered a serum. A serum that will truly make Bob immortal. It doesn't matter what I send at him. A bomb? He'll come back. As you can see, he forms together again over here. I'll put a couple chains in so you can see the reformation a little bit easier. Drop a bomb right next to Bob. Light it up. He'll come back. Completely healed, as you can see. Chained to the earth forever, but completely healed. Now, this even applies to a little bit stronger explosives. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a thermonuclear bomb. Well, not only did that freeze my PC for a good 45 seconds, it proved me wrong. Bob was not invincible. Just as Bob did, Jim has attempted to achieve immortality. Through countless hours of research, trial, and error, we have created Immortality Serum, which is applied not through the mouth like you may think. It is, in fact, a lubricant, which is applied directly to the genitalia. After a bit of spazzing, Jim has now become immortal. And in case you're wondering what's in here, I put every single positive syringe, plus a bunch of not-so-good ones, and tried to make Jim as strong as possible. As you can see here, I've got an AK-47. And Jim no longer bleeds like a mortal man.